What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lesson Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Digital Relaxation. We are back again for another episode. And as always, if you guys enjoy what you hear, what you're gonna hear, please be sure to share the podcast, rate it, all of that good stuff. And yeah, let's do it. So I'm not gonna do a guesstimate of how long and short this podcast is gonna be, but it might be short because we're nearing the end and I don't have nothing to talk about. nah. So I gathered multiple things to talk about. Cause yeah, why not? It's my podcast. But what I've been up to, keep it short. Nothing really. I spent pretty much last week kind of isolating myself. Not making myself, I don't want to say accessible because it's not that I'm too accessible, whatever. I don't speak to a lot of people, but to the people that I do speak to, I don't want to feel like I'm overstepping my presence, because people have lives and stuff, and sometimes too much of a certain personality can be a lot. So ends up having a nice friendship, and then one day you guys just have like a budding moment because it could be a bad morning for one of you guys or whatever, and because y'all talk so frequently, it becomes like, oh, like, all right, I'm annoyed, but you're also annoying me even more. It's like, yeah, so let's just step back. So ain't really been talking to a lot of people. I ain't really been doing anything. I backed off from streaming a little bit. Lost my I kind of lost my motivation, but it's not so much I lost my motivation. It's more so of coming to terms and realizing that once this podcast is over and such, a lot of stuff is gonna be over for me. Like, I'm doing my music project, which it's done, but once I drop it and everything, I'm not gonna do the whole I retire and that's it, because I already did that when did I do that? 2015, I think. 2014, 2015. I did that already. And obviously it didn't last forever. So if I'm motivated to create music and make music, I'll do it. But I think the grand scale of how I've been doing it, to a degree, I think I'm gonna reduce it and just do it just because, oh, I like how this beat sounds right now, I'm just gonna rap over it. Like, sometimes that happens. Like, literally, the Memory Lanes Part 2 song, which I rapped over the Heart Part 6 beat, the Kendrick version. It's just because, I like the beat. Dope beat, dope sample. And I was like, hey, completely, like, I was at work listening to it. Like, completely, like, no type of intention, like, oh, let me write a song. Like, I was like, oh, like, I wonder if someone, like, made the beat. And then I just listened to the beat. Listened to it like 2 times, and I'm like, all right. Started, doing the I'm mumbling words to myself and figuring out what I'd be saying, and I figure out the topic, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, and seeing that, all right, this is sounding a lot like this song, which Memories Lane 1. So, like, it'd be nice to do a part 2, just talk about it in a different, not also a different perspective, but more so on, well, Memory Lane 1 came out, when did that one come out? 2022. So 3 years since the first one. New perspective, new mindset, what's been happening in my life, and how I feel about things in the moment. So it was nice to get stuff out as well. But yeah, that's I don't want to say that's mostly it. But the thought I was having was, yeah, like in terms of me like going extra serious about everything. After this project, I don't think I'm gonna really do anything serious going forward. I mean, there's an idea in mind, but it's just an idea at the moment. So I'm not gonna confirm or deny nothing. But yeah, so that the podcast is gonna end. This podcast is gonna end. The other one we still haven't returned yet, and I think that's another reason why I'm kind of unmotivated, because when other people aren't motivated to do things, I lose all motivation to do it myself. So as long as that's gonna be on hiatus, I lost all interest in it and caring about it. So not caring about that. This podcast is gonna be over. Music, I'm pretty much gonna take a step back from music. Low key might even, and it sounds wild because I kind of just got back into it. I might take a step back on streaming. Maybe. I'm gonna stream Shadows when it come out, which when this episode comes out, it comes out tomorrow. So I'm gonna stream Shadows tomorrow. And see where we go from there, but I don't know how long it'll take me to beat the game and whatnot. But I'm not not too motivated on streaming right now, but it could just be a in the moment thing. Like like I said, just spent a whole lot of time just like not really doing anything, just losing motivation and just sitting there. I don't know. I didn't listen to my last, because normally I listen to my previous podcast episodes so I can critique my sound and whatever and remember what the hell I talked about. But I don't know if I talked about going to my quote unquote third place in the last podcast. The weather got nice. I mean, it's kind of up and down right now, like chilly mornings, then it warms up, or just straight up chilly ish days. Like it's not freezing, but it's just chilly. But one day it was very nice. And I went to my spot, I was gifted the Death Note manga. So I read a little bit of that. I didn't want to get too far because I'm trying to read in order. I still need to do Akira. But I need to find time to actually get that manga. There's a lot of things I want to do or get. I'm having a plan for my birthday week, which sounds, it doesn't sound weird because typically when you're younger, you think of birthdays as hey, it's my day and people should do things for me and whatnot. But I think I'm just gonna do some self shopping, splurging that week. I found a vinyl store. It's not close, but it's close. So I might go there because I don't like going to Barnes and Nobles and the vinyl selection there be lackluster as hell. So I'm gonna go there, check it out, and definitely gonna leave with a vinyl because the distance of how long it's gonna take me to get there and get back, I'm leaving with something. So depending on how much I find and how much I'm willing to spend, pick up some vinyls, get my collection growing even more, because collect your physical media, guys. Collect your physical media, especially in these trying times of prices going up, and that might be for everything, even to your hobbies, video games or whatnot. So if you love it, support it, collect it, own it. But yeah, that's mostly it. So yeah, took last week to just reflect on myself and whatnot, and I thought of this one topic in hand, and I saw another. Then I got another topic off of a TikTok video. So, and I'm sure I talked about it before, but I'll expand on it more. So, as for the about me section, I mean, John Cena cut a good promo for wrestling fans out there. I'm sure I talked about it. John Cena turned heel at the Elimination Chamber, and he made his first appearance yesterday, technically 2 days ago, on Raw, since turning heel, and cut a promo, just attacking, attacking the crowd, but not like, screw you guys, but it's more so like explaining why he's fed up. Of course, like, like after 25 years, John Cena, why? And he's like, it's because of you. So that's his angle of why he became a heel. Basically, he just kept tabs on how the community treated him throughout his entire career, and finally decides to just let it all out on, like, even when I was trying to do this farewell tour, y'all still was like being disrespectful about it, like y'all couldn't just let me go on a good note. So nah, screw you guys. You don't deserve me leaving on a good note. You don't deserve nothing from me. So that's his angle right now with why he's a heel. I gave everything to you guys and it's never enough and all of that good stuff. So it was a great promo. You should check it out if you especially, if you're a wrestling fan, but like, I guess casual, like you ain't keeping up, you should check it out. But if you know anything about John Cena's career and you just ain't really been watching wrestling like that, that's still something you could check out. So I'm hyped for Mania. Kind of hyped for Mania. And I don't want to make this the wrestling podcast, but why not? I don't like what they do with Rhea Ripley, the triple threat match. The triple threat match seemed obvious. It's kind of what we expected. It's just how we going about it, like making Rhea Ripley feel like she's in. So there's two ways about what I'm about to say. It's like she feels entitled to be, like, she want to be in this match, like, like this is supposed to be my moment, and more so it's like, no, this is supposed to be a match between me and Bianca, like just completely ignoring Io Sky, and she's the champion right now, so it's like she's the most important person right now in the match, and everyone, they just like overlook, like, no, this is supposed to be between me and you, man, forget this girl. So she acting like, she's entitled to her perfect dream match WrestleMania moment, which I understand, but it's not like she couldn't still get her way into the match, because she's the word entitled. She's entitled to a rematch clause. If you know anything about wrestling, for the most part, whoever is a champion, for the most part, so I'll get into another example, but for the most part, whoever is a champion, if you drop the title, you lose the title, you kind of entitled to have a rematch to get a chance to win it back. And if you lose, then you're back. You're at the back of the line. You got to start over again. But then there's cases where, depending on the kind of champion they were, how long the run was, and of course how high profile the superstar was. In the case of Roman Reigns, he held the title for 4 years, and when he dropped it, he never challenged for the title since. So there's instances where, but he kind of disappeared for a little bit. So there's instances where, for the sake of long-term storytelling, they will write you out of getting your title rematch, right back. But she's not written out or anything, so it's like you could have just said, hey, I'm invoking my rematch clause and it's gonna be at WrestleMania, so we're gonna do a triple threat. And like, hey, yeah, that makes sense. But the way she going about it is like in a more jerkish way, so I don't know. But Io Sky, she better retain that title. Only because, nothing against Rhea Ripley, but I felt like she ran her course in the top card. Like she can still do other things. I don't like she don't have to disappear, but as being on the top, I think she ran her course for a little bit. Bianca Belair has a whole other side story going on, which I feel may interfere with her match, which will cause her to lose. So Io Sky really, she has nothing to gain for losing because it's like there's no need for her to lose. So she has every reason to win and retain her title, especially with the people she's going against. Where Io Sky, if you look at just their physical appearance, Io Sky is small compared to Rhea Ripley and Bianca, who's just taller but also very physically like in shape. And Io is just like, yeah, I'm just here, and I just do my little flips. But she's dope. She's a dope wrestler. I'm not just saying that for the sake of like, hey, just let the little girl win, but she's very good. And she had the title, but it was as a heel. Like I like when they do that too. Like I want to see how the person has the title as a face and as a heel to see like which title run is better. Like when AJ Styles first, if you know anything about me, AJ Styles is my favorite wrestler. When he first won the WWE title, he won it as a heel, and that title run wasn't really great. It was kind of it felt jokish, like the people he was feuding with Dean Ambrose, and then they had James Ellsworth and that whole thing. So that whole title run was kind of lackluster. But then when he won it as a face, it was lit, and he was having some lit matches. Don't forget the champion versus champion match with Brock Lesnar. Like that's a dream match. So when he won it as a face, it was great. So I'm curious to see how her holding the title as a face is gonna be if she retains it. So yeah, that's enough wrestling talk. All right, so the main reason for this podcast, of course, mental health and all of this self stuff. Going into the topic, so I had one topic. This one just hit me, and I thought about it. And again, I probably touched on it, but I'm gonna spend some more time with it, I guess. It's the topic of, I don't know, there's a word for it. Let me try to Google. Let me see what is it called. I guess that technically is. Let me see. So yeah, basically, disassociation, or being in a dissociative state. So the topic is basically about when you start to disassociate, when like, hey, let me hang out with the boys or the girls or whatever, you having a time out, and we're gonna have fun, and it just randomly hits you that you just like lose all interest in being in this moment, and you just start like blanking out and getting lost in your head right then and there. So most people who deal with it could be trauma. I'm trying to refer to myself as well, and I don't want to say trauma for me, but who have difficult pasts and bad experience, especially in their mental health journey. So I'm sure I talked about this before, probably gave examples, but yeah, I think I gave an example. I'll give it again. The first time I went to Japan, a terrible time to have a moment like that, because again, this is my first time in Japan, a dream location that I always wanted to be in. Like happy as hell that I managed to get to that step to do that. First time flying my own. Everything was just a first time experience. Meeting my best friend for the first time in person. Everything was just fun. And then one day I just woke up and I was just very, I don't know. Like I said, when you wake up on just having a bad morning, and then I was seeing text messages again because time difference. My morning is people night, so like they know that text is kind of fresh to them or whatever, and that's the last thing they text them before they go to bed and hang out. And me, I'm waking up and I gotta deal with the text throughout the whole day. So it's like the text can ruin my mood. So I kind of just disassociated from my friend for like a good hour or so, and it was like terrible that I had to do that because it's like this is supposed to be a great moment right here between myself and also with her. Like we get to do this together and have fun and hang out. That we experiencing some new stuff together, and it's like I'm just in my head, not being happy, just being fed up and annoyed about stuff and painting scenarios in my head and causing the situation to be worse than what it should be. It wasn't a big deal at all, but like it's that part of it is the when you think the worst, when you have a habit of thinking the worst of anything, like I don't even want to talk about it, but it is something that should be important to talk about. So I should talk about it. I shouldn't hide it. Like when I get text messages from like certain people and I see a name and I'm like, oh, this person texted me, and then I immediately go to like a dark place, like, oh, like what if they telling me some bad news about something happened to somebody or something happened to them, or I don't know. And then I get the text and it just be like, hey, what's up? Oh, so it's like it just be the most like casual text, but it's like my head right before I look at that text is like, what the hell happened? Why they text me? What's going on? So there's that. So like I look at things and my mind just go left, and it's like that just ruins. I cause myself to ruin my mood. It's not like they could doing it. It's like because I'm overthinking things and thinking the worst, I'm ruining the experience myself. So as of late, I mean, like if I'm counting Japan, that probably might have been the last time I have done it. I don't think I disassociate more like, well, I'm not saying more, but like as of late, when I'm hanging out, like especially when we do the podcast or whatnot, it's just I just be chilling. Like I just be chilling. So it's not like I just be zoning out. Like I'm in the moment, but also just be chilling, not to let myself get too amped up, unless it calls for it or whatever. So I'm thinking about, and another reason why I'm bringing this up, cause for those who don't know, and I'm planning on going to DreamCon this year, and it's gonna be a bunch of us together and whatnot, and I'm thinking of like, what if I do that during this trip and cause everyone to be like, yeah, man, what's going on with this man? Actually, no, yeah, I did do it recently, so I'll take that back. I did it November. Yeah, November, at Mac's birthday party. I disassociated throughout the whole party. Like I literally just sat in the corner and just didn't talk to nobody and did nothing. But everybody's just having a good time hanging out, just sitting there, like thinking, just lost in my head and painting like negative thoughts in my head, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not enjoying myself in this moment right now. So and it sucked because like you don't want to be that, especially on someone's special day. Like if it was just a casual hangout, sure, but like you're trying to be there for them so they can have a good time, and you just over there like killing the mood and whatnot. So I'm trying to work on it. So I mean, part of it is not so much about because of trauma or whatever. I just don't like being around a lot of people either. It's not so much of a social anxiety thing. Like I joke about having it when I say when I'm like going food shopping or whatever. Like it's time for me to have social anxiety, but every shopping trip be casual as hell. It's just the thinking, like I said, it's just the thinking. But when there's people you don't know, I didn't like, 90% of the people in there I didn't know. I don't, and not to bring age or whatever in it, but like I'm in the state of mind where I don't have time or the capacity to be learning new people. I'm not good with names in general too, so I don't want to like everyone like, hey, yeah, this is my friend. Oh, I hear when every time they say their name, like I didn't hear what you just said. I don't know what your name is, man. So I don't want to be rude and try to talk to that person again, and I'm like, yeah, I forgot your name. So I just don't like dealing with trying to learn new people. Like, no, I want to stick to my small circle of people I already know. I already built a whole friendship and relationship with throughout the years. I ain't got time for new people. I don't got time to know who you are. I don't got time to know your habits. I don't got time to know your likes, your dislikes. I don't got time to know if you have, if you're easily triggered, if you have a temper, if you are silly, if you're annoying. I don't have the time to learn a whole new life. Basically, like I had to learn your whole life. Other people, like some people I grew up with, so their life is aligned with my life, so I get it. But I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. Now I don't have the time to know about you because this is gonna be the only time, for the most part, we see each other, talk to each other. It's not like we're gonna be calling each other right after this, texting each other right after this. So it's like I ain't got time to learn who you are, man. Like, you cool with him? Cool. All right, that's good. So that's my thing. But yeah, so looking at Google, seeing if there's like people talking about it, and I see if I can like. So someone was talking about like, why do I be doing this? Like, I be in a group, and then I just, how often do you see friends? I asked because I used to be this way in college with my friends, but I was a bit of a hermit. Since I was a bit of a hermit, I would get anxious around friends since I haven't seen them for a long time. With this church, just kind of, I think that's the thing too as well. If you are used to being isolated, and even friends who, like I said, because I mean, me and my best friend is a different story. I mean, in terms of like my bond with her, it's like I'm more trusting of her than most people that I know in person, and I share and confide in her with a lot more. So when we met and with everything, it was I'm sure I talked about it on the podcast. Like, it's just like we just picked up where we left off, but now it's just we're in person. That was it. So it wasn't so much like, oh, like we're being awkward with each other because we're seeing each other. It's like, nah, we still talking the same way we talk. We act the same way we act. We joke. We laugh. Just, and that's it. We're just learning about each other as we still going. So I can't really be like, oh, because I haven't seen her, that's why I disassociate with her. I haven't disassociated with. All right. So what it is with people when you disassociate with like close friends, I think it's also and that's like you haven't seen or you're not always around them all the time. I think it's also due to the fact when it's like, it's your close friend who be bringing in other friends. Like I mentioned, like I don't got time to learn people. But the thing is, like, I don't know this relationship at all. This is new to me. But to them, like, they're tight, they're cool, they have their jokes, they talk. Now I'm starting to feel like I'm the new dude, and it's like, but he's been my friend like for 20 plus years. And it's like I'm looked at as the new guy in this group now, because it's like if you're gonna be in the middle, you can't cater to both. And I learned that when I was young too. Well, I didn't learn that when I was young. I learned that as I reflect on my youth. Like I have my two cousins, and it was like always kind of like my dream of mine of like, I can't wait till my two favorite cousins to actually like meet each other someday, because it's like always, oh, I'll go here. And then the funny thing about my two cousins is they both are on my mother's side of the family. And in terms of like relative, like, like the relations and like, their parent, like, their mom and my mom know each other but we was never together. It was like always, oh, it's me and this cousin this weekend. Oh, it's me and that cousin this weekend. It was never like, oh, it's all of us this weekend. So when it happened the first time, it was like, I understand what I was doing, what I did wrong about, like, oh, like, because you have certain bonds with certain people, just because like they both are equally your favorite, but it's like this one brings out a different side of me, of myself, that I enjoy more than when I hang out with you. So I cater more to making this friend more like, more comfortable in the friendship than I do about the other friend. So it's like kind of like not intentionally but also intentionally pushing the other person out, because like, oh, let's just make fun of him with talking about our inside jokes that he don't know about and whatnot. So being that, when it happens to you, it's like, oh, like I get it. It's like I can't just force myself into friendships, like, and I can't force you to like pick and choose who you want to be catering to. So it's like, all right, I'm just gonna zone out mentally from this whole situation and just wait till we're done and just go back home where I'm safe. Yeah, so when like get back to the point of safe and be back in my bubble again. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess I gotta work on that more. Just be more. I don't know. Like, what is the quote unquote solution to that? Like, should you just be more involved with the other, like that friendship group, or should you be more? I don't know what's the word. I don't know if snobbish is the word. Like, oh no, like I'm clearly the better friend and they should be coming to me. Like, nah. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Well, I'll figure it out. But the listeners, I'll figure it out. And see where we go from there. Next topic is similar, kinda, not really. More so it deals with trauma response or whatever, PTSD, however you want to phrase it. So I seen this TikTok, and I think I'm sure I touched on this. But I seen this TikTok about this dude, like it was a dude who like, oh, he about like, you like, oh, when you about a POV, like you about to cook the best meal ever, and then you hear somebody coming home or whatever the case is, and then you just start putting everything away. And then of course reading the comments for people who like all like understand it, and even like putting like certain phrases like when that parent walk in like, oh, what you cooking, like, oh when they walk in like, oh, well, like what's burning in here, like, bro, like get out of here. So yeah, going back to when I used to live with my father and whatnot, of course my story about my comfort in that household, I don't say it's documented, but it's like that's that was already a long story in itself. So going towards like the tail end of that journey, it was like like you noticing things and whatnot, and being and becoming more avoidant of the people in your household, because it's like I don't know, it's just not, you don't have that relationship with them where you're like eager to see that, like, oh, you just came up with something, what you doing here, man? Oh yeah, we just talking while we in the kitchen. It's just so much, it's more of like a passing, like, oh hey, how you doing? But then it's like they just sit there in the kitchen too, and I'm like, what the fuck? But so I've had situations like that plenty of times where it's like I just be in my room chilling all day, hermit style, just be all up in my room chilling all day. And I'm listening to the activities of the household, see what's going on, who's doing what, who's going where, someone leaving or not, and everything is cool. Everybody's in their zone, everybody's chilling. I'm like, I've been in my room all day. I'm kind of hungry. Let me see what's in there. Make something to eat, maybe. I don't know. Go out my room, hop in the kitchen. I'm in there, like, all right, I'll see what I make. Like, 2 seconds later, hear a door open. Somebody walking in here. Like, what the fuck? And like, oh, okay, what's up? Hear another door opening. So I go, hold on now. Like, are we all hungry at the same time? So like, we're all in this kitchen, and then they start having conversations with themselves as if they like haven't seen each other in 10 years. I'm like, bro, y'all live in the same house. Like, why can't y'all have this conversation somewhere else? like, why is it during my food time? But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I do know, but it's a weird thing. Like, to have that kind of, and I don't know if disassociation is the word for it too. Like, to be so withdrawn from your family, your household, or whatnot. That's like, and again, yeah, because also, like I said, those little comments don't help either. Because I guess it's like, it kind of, I don't know. It feels like they're intruding on a intimate, personal moment in your life. Like, I enjoy cooking when I have the mental capability, motivation to do it, and like, what I'm in the mood for or whatnot. I enjoy it. I like experimenting and trying dishes out and seeing like, this actually tastes good. Like, it's nice. And it's like someone comes in and it's like they give like a critique in sly way, like, what you cooking there? Like, oh, okay, all right, I see you doing now. Like, yo, bro, like, you acting like I'm fucking Chef Gordon. like nothing. It's a simple ass dish. Or if you cooking, if your pan is a little too hot, and it's like, oh, what's burning in the house? And like nothing is burning, bro. It's just the pan is hot. That's it. Like, it's just the smoke coming up the pan. Nothing is burning. Like, get out of there. Like, just ruining that intimate moment with me in this kitchen, and I'm just like over here, just in my zone, just trying to cook myself a nice little meal. Like, I don't want to hear your 2 cents. Like, I don't be coming in there every time when something like when the main household, like the person who normally cooks like a dinner for the whole house, I don't be walking in there like, oh, it smells like you burning something there. like nah, like, just, you finished cooking? Cool. Like, all right, let's eat. Like, I gotta sit here and give you your critiques. Like, cook. Like, especially when it's different, because like, I'm cooking for myself. Like, I don't need your critiques, but you're cooking for the whole house, so all right, because critiques make sense. Like, oh, you sure that's good? Like, we're all gonna be eating this. Like, so yeah, I don't know what it is with the whole, like, we're all in the household, and like, we're trying to have that moment. And instead of it being like, I'm cooking something, like, oh, what you cooking? Like, oh, I'm just cooking a little something, you feel me? Yeah, what you about to do? You about to make something to do? Like, say no more. Like, instead of it being that and a small bonding moment, it just becomes like, oh, like, what you cook? Like, you in your head, like, man, don't worry about what I'm cooking. Get out of here. So, I don't know. Weird things. I mean, I did some questionable low life things in that household, especially towards like the tail end of living there. So now that I'm in my own space and living on my own, and I can be in the kitchen when I feel like it and walk around, that's the next thing too, like, just to leave your room. Like, all right, I'm sorry, I'm tired of seeing these walls, let me go somewhere else. But it's like someone just comes again, it's like that door just opens. I'm like, bro, like, why? What's out here for you? But now it's like, all right, I've been in my room for too long. I'm gonna go in my living room. Like the whole last week, and I said, when I spent my time isolated, I spent my whole time in my living room, cause like, I've been streaming, so like, I've been in my room a lot, especially during the peak of the winter, like. My room is like the most warmest spot, because it's more, obviously because it's smaller, but also because I have all my tech in here, my computer, my Xbox and whatnot, so it's warming up the room too on its own, compared to like the whole open space of my my whole living area, basically. It's like, the fact that I still have the choice to do that. I have the choice to go where I want, and chill, somewhere. Like if I want to lay on my couch and watch TV, I'm gonna lay on my couch and watch TV. If I want to be in my room, I'll be in my room. If I want to go in my kitchen, I go in my kitchen. I can do what I want. So that's the beauty of, living on your own. Enjoying your own personal space, your own personal time. Again, like I say, now I get to sit here and be like, I can make the decision and isolate myself. It's like, no, I'm going to isolate myself. Yeah, and go in my room. And then 5 minutes later, your dad knocks on the door like, oh, so much for that shit. So it's like, it's a big difference when you actually have the luxury and freedom to do it. Like, hey, I'm just going to fucking toss my phone away for a minute and just chill and watch TV and just relax, like, reset my thoughts and reset my mind, and get myself back aligned so I can re-enter society again. So yeah. Side note, I'm kind of done, so but side note, along with what I've been up to, because I mentioned I mentioned like collecting physical media and all of that. Also, I've been playing my PS Vita more. That's my phone. I've been playing my PS Vita more and watching PS Vita videos and watching gaming video, like not so much gaming video, but so much more of a like hardware, like collecting physical games, collecting physical consoles, like something about that, just collecting physical media, bro. It's just, I don't know, something about that. It's just, I like it, I love it, and I just want to grow my collection. That's like my goal, just grow my manga collection, my vinyl collection, cost my gaming collection, and there's a lot of stuff I wanted to collect, but some of it is gonna be kind of pricey. Like, I want to collect wrestling belts. I only have one belt, but it's a commemorative, so I want a real legit replica. I want to collect more katanas. Well, not so much I want to collect more katanas, just one katana that I want. I have one, but that was more of a spur of the moment. Hey, can I get this? And forgot the one that I really, really want. So there's still a katana that I still want. So there's a lot of things I want to still collect, and it gives you purpose, gives you something to look forward to. I enjoy collecting stuff. I enjoy seeing things I have. I like looking at things I have. Then looking at it, and it's like looking at an old PSP game, and I'm like, oh man, like this game held me down. Like I was thinking about that. I'm like, there was a good moment, a time where like my PSP library held me down. Like not even like my main consoles. Like it was a moment in time when my PSP held me down. I have a good amount of games on there. Yeah, like it's a good time. Like that. Even I bought a 3DS, and I only got one game for it, which is Animal Crossing. I bought a 3DS just for one game, and at the time when I bought it, it was a risque move, because again, I was a poor college kid with no money, and yeah, I spent like all I had left on that until like I got my refund check back. Yeah, so it was like, yeah, that's risky. But looking back at it now, and looking back at the memories, when I just look at my 3DS and I look at just the case of my Animal Crossing, I'm like, damn man, like just this one game held me down for like a good, like probably a good year or so. I got the game first. I played it for a bit. I bumped into an old classmate. We was working in the same mall, and I was like, oh, I don't know how the hell we found out about it. I don't remember how that conversation came up, but the conversation came up, and I'm like, oh, you got Animal Crossing, like, yeah. or we must have probably just texted because we exchanged numbers and then we probably just talked about it. And I'm like, yeah, I got a 3DS. I'm like, oh, word. So got to play that. Went to her island for a little bit. That was cool. Then, of course, my best friend, she already had 3DS, and I was like, hey, yo, you got Animal Crossing? And she didn't have it. I was like, yo, you should get on that. We could go on each other's island and whatnot. And we played that together. So, like, memories. Just memories. Just that one game held me down. So, it's different when you just download games and then of course if you don't play it no more, you can just, and it's taking up space, uninstall it, and you don't see it. You don't get to see it unless you turn on the console, and then you got to scroll to your library section, like especially for your Xbox, like you got to scroll to your section of the games that you own, but you don't have them downloaded, so you don't even get to see those games before you even get to the whole memories. Like I just be chilling, like because all my games and all my stuff is in my living room, so I'm just laying down in my living room. I just look at the game. I'm like, damn, man, that was a good time with that game. So it's just owning your physical media, own your childhood, revive your childhood, heal your inner child, get things that you couldn't get that you always wanted to get, whether you couldn't afford it or your parents couldn't afford it, or you had to make the decision between one thing or the other thing. Well, go get the other thing now. So yeah, I think that's about it though. We on episode 98, man. I want to say the next episode is technically might be the last episode in terms of topic wise. Like I'll talk about something. And I think I'll just end the podcast episode 100 with just, I don't know, I guess just a farewell, a thank you. I don't know. I have no plan of what I should do for that. So it might just be a short 5-minute, hey, thank you for everything episode. I don't know. So the next episode might be the last like legit full scale episode. So, yeah. Yeah, so as always, hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Hope you guys enjoy what you heard. If you felt like this topic or these topics could intrigue someone else more so than you, don't be afraid to share, man. I can't talk about everything, especially if I don't know what you guys want to hear. Nobody don't say nothing or whatever. But don't be afraid to share that with someone who you think might want to hear something of such discussion. But yeah, that's it. So hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and until the next episode, peace.